Hey everybody, this is Eli Freestone and you're watching my Project 4 review video for Mobile Development Frameworks 1, term 1309. First off, I'm displaying with Air Server from my iPad. Let's go ahead and get going here. So pretty much, I have to say this pretty much every video, but time is always an issue. Thankfully, it wasn't as big of an issue this week. There wasn't any natural disasters or any major power outages or anything like that. I did end up running into a bit of a time crunch because of an issue with parsing my XML, but we'll get to that in a sec. So let's go ahead and do the first launch to my iPad here. Get the screen pulled back up. So the first time, obviously, it hasn't loaded in the data, so we'll go ahead and stop this guy and then just launch it manually, and then we have all the data in. This week I also wasn't able to do really much along the lines of beautifying it. As you probably saw, my icon and my splash are also actually from Project 3. Again, time is typically an issue, at least to some extent, and this week I got stuck on some parse issues. So anyways, let's go ahead and pop through and to show that everything is working correctly. The data source I'm using is a website called unsignedbandweb.com, and it's just a place where unsigned bands can put up their music. I just chose to pick the band name, the location of the band, song name, album name, and the date added. There's also other stuff available, including download links, links to the band's website, and also a band picture, which I actually tried to pull. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it working, so I did pull it, remove it from my project, I should say. So let's go ahead and show the raw data here. It is scrollable. Unfortunately, that also means it has to be user enableable, which I actually didn't realize until I was getting ready for this video, actually. So I'd never even implemented any sort of a hide keyboard. So if you accidentally do what I just did on purpose, then you have to actually shut the app down to get back. So anyways, let's go ahead and get this guy out of the way here, and I'm going to pop it up in my simulator. I have actually ran it in here, so it'll just load right up. There was one thing that I wanted to point out related to my parsing, and that's this blank tab, table view cell. I'm not even 100% exactly where that's coming from. I have a pretty good idea, but when I go through my code here, I'll point that out for you. It also still does the raw data. Alright, so let's get this guy stopped and do a quick run through of my code here. So for most everything, actually something I wanted to point out too is I currently have Data Manager, these guys down here. They're not actually getting used anymore. I had to find a quick workaround when it came to displaying the raw data. I couldn't get it to pass correctly from my first view to my second view, so I ended up actually popping the code for reading the file over into my second view, and then I write it to the first view there, or to the text view. Sorry. So yeah, let's go get over here. So we create the parser, we create the raw data, and then we go ahead and pass it through. We grab it here, and then we'll get down to the parsing here. So the issues I was running into with the parser is the attribute dictionary wasn't really working. I think it's mainly because of the format of the XML that I was receiving. It could be something that I'm just missing in my code. I was actually struggling a lot to really wrap my head around everything that was going on, and that just added to my difficulties. But what I ended up doing is every time it hit the correct tag, it would start filling a string with the info from that tag. And then down here I actually replace component separated by characters in set. For some reason the append string or the parse, I'm not sure where, was adding a \n or a new line tag in between each string, which at first really bothered me, but then once I realized I could use it for the components separated by characters, that's actually how I separate it into different strings inside the array. Unfortunately, I think this process is actually what's adding in the extra blank table view. It's actually at the very end of my array, or actually when the array is first started, the first entry is just the quotes, no data inside it, no string at all. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out exactly how to get rid of it or anything along those lines. But yeah, it's there, unfortunately. So yeah, I guess that's been about it. This has been Eli Freestone for Project 4 of MDF1, Term 1309. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.